What's going on, everyone? So, the Denver Nuggets, in a surprising move, ended up firing their head coach and GM. This was especially surprising and shocking because literally, like the final week of the season, you're 2 weeks away from the playoffs, and to fire not only your GM, okay, fine, right? His job is pretty much done until the offseason, but to then fire your head coach who won you a championship 2 years ago, and it's crazy. Like whatever was going on was so like you couldn't get past for two more weeks, a month, right? Like say you fizzle out in the first round or whatever, and Denver is trying to spin it as like, hey, essentially it seems like he lost the locker room. He lost the team. Right? That there was this rift. And look, the Mike Malone rift with the Denver Nuggets has been going for years now. Right? It really kind of hit its head in the offseason. And he was very open and public about the KCP loss and all that stuff. And it's just his whole gripe was like, dude, how am I supposed to keep winning when you keep losing the players that we're winning with? We win a championship and we lose two or three players right off the bat, and then you give away our best defensive guy for nothing, and you're not replacing them. You're like, hey, play the young guys. And it's like, are we trying to win or what? But you no longer have a GM, no longer have a head coach. Obviously, you're going to have new searches for both in the offseason. Whether David Edelman ends up, proving himself and holding the reins, we'll see, we'll find out. But regardless, you're going to have a search. This team is probably going to look to retool. I don't really see a full-fledged rebuild. I might talk about like a full-fledged rebuild in its own video because I do think that there is always that possibility. But I think a retool is probably the better approach. The problem is like they're very limited, right? They don't have like this well of cap space. Their young guys aren't really outside of like Christian Brown. Like they don't have these young guys that are in like super high demand. There's a couple guys that, okay, Strawlers, the guys like that might be kind of nice, right? But for the most part, there's not these guys that are like, man, that every team in the league would love to have that young man, right? Like it's just part of that is Mike Malone didn't really play them and develop them and do all those things. Part of it was just like, how good are they? Are they really good enough, right? Like there's a lot of questions about that team. And I think it's the 2026 pick. They can remove the protections on and essentially free up 2 first plus 2 pick swaps. So there is some flexibility. Michael Porter Jr., there's teams that would probably take him. Aaron Gordon, there's definitely teams that would take him. Thing is, though, is that he might be the most valuable player next to Jokic. Like, honestly. Right? Jamal Murray, that team's very different without Jamal Murray, don't get me wrong. But I think you can get another just like kind of bucket getter. Because Jamal Murray's not this like great defensive player and stuff, right? He's just kind of like that other guy. Like, I think you can replace Jamal Murray and what he does, right? Even if it's not to like the tier level, but if you kind of upgrade in other areas, I think you can balance it out. And also the best ability is availability. And he fizzles out all the time too, right? So it's just like Aaron Gordon might be the one guy that's like most valuable. His 3-point shooting has been fantastic all season long. His defense, right? His hustle, his grit, all that. He is getting older, but still like you're still in a win now mode. You're not trying to rebuild for the next 3-4 years, right? Like you're kind of just trying to retool, kind of revamp this roster in a way, and then, do what you need to do to try to go win a championship with Jokic because he's the best player in the league. And he's still just he's on the right side of 30 still, but he's going to be getting there in a couple years, right? He's be 31, 32, 33. And he's a guy that I think his game will age beautifully. Now, he's a guy that I think, he could probably play till he's 40 if he wants to. I just don't know if he would do that, but he could. Right? He's not super reliant on his athleticism and all that stuff. He's never been like a great defender or even like a really good defender, for being honest. So it's not like, usually the defense declines. You're already like, as long as he can pass and score the way that he does, you're fine, right? But I just think they're definitely going to need some upgrades, particularly the defensive side of the ball. Supposedly, Jokic was not happy with the defense. I mean, he's part of the problem, though. But I could understand the frustration, right? Like, they need instead of like a Michael Porter Jr., they need to go get like legit 3-and-D guys, right? They need to get 2 or 3 guys that can defend multiple positions, multiple levels. Obviously, you want another playmaker, another guy that can make plays and do all that stuff. But I mean, Jokic is going to be your engine, right? He's going to be your offensive engine. He's going to be your playmaker. He's going to be all those things. You could use a back. The thing is, like, Denver's had the same issues for years, right? Even in their finals run when they won the championship, right? Like, they weren't playing, like, they were using Aaron Gordon as their backup center, right? Like, they would just, like, take Jokic out and then just slide Aaron Gordon over to the 4 or over to the 5 and then move Michael Porter Jr. to the 4 and then go with, like, you know, Jamal Murray, Bruce Brown, KCP, or, you know, they'd have, like, Jeff Green at the center spot, things like that, right? Like, they weren't this, like, super deep team. I just think you definitely need to look to retool. I think you definitely need to look to kind of, you know, find those right pieces, right? Whether you have to trade guys or not. The only guy you're not trading is Jokic. I don't look, and I talked about this months ago now. I think if you're the Denver Nuggets, I think you look to trade Jamal Murray. I don't think they should have given him that new contract. The guy can't stay healthy. He hasn't been great. He has his moments where he's, you know, great and good, but he hasn't been what you need him to be. Right? And it just kind of feels like, did you just have that run? Or like, can you kind of get that back? I don't think that they can. Right? I think he's a very good player. I don't think he's the guy that they need and as good as they need him to be. And again, he can't stay healthy. Right? So if you can turn him into something that makes some sense, I think you can replace him. Right? I don't think Jamal Murray's so good. Like, he's one of the, you know, 10 best players in the league. It's like, you're never going to be able to replace him. There's 10 other guys that you're probably not even thinking about that could probably replace him just playing alongside Jokic and their ability to play off of Jokic, just to be that consistent scorer and that bucket getter, right? And you wouldn't have to pay them $40 million a year and stuff, right? Like, I think that there is this potential where it's like you can create this new version of Denver and be even better. Obviously, you got to get your coaching right. You got to get the organization. Like, there's a lot that you need to get right and done. But I don't know. Just thought. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, and I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel with your thoughts? Do you think, yes, they need to trade and kind of retool this thing, right? Get whatever pieces you can, trade whoever you have to that's not named Jokic, and just kind of figure it out from there? Do you think, no, you know, kind of run it back with a new coach, see what you could do, maybe add some key depth pieces, whatever. However you feel, whatever your thoughts are. Either way, I would love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Helps me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.